Globally, customers spent close to $400 billion on electric vehicles in 2022. In 2023 and between 2023 and 2027, 1 million new EVs are anticipated to be added to US highways. $616 billion have been invested by automotive firms overall. These initiatives have encountered a worrying speed bump in the interim. Sales of EVs are declining. It took approximately twice as long to sell an EV in the US in August 2023 as it did in January of that year. Vehicles powered by gas were still selling quickly. Less than a third of dealers agree that EVs will eventually replace combustion engines, despite the fact that slightly more than half of consumers do. Almost every automaker has staked their future on the product you have. The administration is actually stating that electricity is the way to go. However, when it comes down to it, when individuals have to make that choice and a lot of money is at stake, we can already see that this is beginning to suffer. Tesla has drastically reduced its prices. Some EV startups have reported disappointing sales, and firms like Ford have increased hybrid production while EV demand has plateaued. What actually is happening and why? What does that signify going forward too? Navigating the transition to electric. Would you advise folks who are now using a combustion engine to use the step as a sort of bridge to a plug-in hybrid? Do you think switching to an electric vehicle would be a better option? Electric vehicles are currently available in the market in excess of what is needed. According to Cox Automotive, there will be an average 52-day supply of ICE automobiles available at dealerships in July 2023. A dealer would have enough to last 52 days even if they stopped producing automobiles today. Pickup truck turn times decreased from 52 days in January 2023 to just 57 days in August. The EV supply was closer to 90,100 days at the time. No industry has experienced a growth as significant as EVs. The length of time it takes for a vehicle to sell in large quantities has clearly increased. The EVs are simply sitting for longer than usual. And the fact that we're also observing it in the used automobile market suggests that this isn't just a singular incident. This is extremely specifically focused. According to data from other sources, interest in EVs has dwindled since the pandemic era. 86% of US purchasers plan to purchase an EV in 2021. Since then, it has decreased, reaching 67% in 2023. Ford will begin taking bookings for the completely electric F-150 Lightning in May 2021, which is the most popular car in the country. The company claimed that it had enough reservations for 3 years' worth of output, so it closed them by the end of the year. Ford, however, said in September 2023 that it was increasing the manufacturing of its hybrid F-150 due to a slowdown in Lightning sales. Sales are easing across the board, not just for established names. Demand for the highly anticipated luxury EV brand Lucid has been weaker than anticipated for 2 straight quarters. Most recently, in the second quarter of 2023, it delivered 600 fewer units of its high-performance, 500-mile range luxury air vehicle than Wall Street had anticipated. Economic challenges and consumer realities. The economy is facing more significant difficulties, interest rates are rising, and borrowing money is becoming more costly. Purchasing power has decreased due to inflation, and supply networks are now unstable. OEMs are under pressure to produce EVs even in the face of consumer backlash due to the rigidity of the EV supply chain. Then there are the demands of adhering to official directives. With EVs, there is a unique pricing issue. Generally speaking, they cost more than their gasoline-powered equivalents. That could be the reason why the premium segment hasn't decelerated as much as EVs. For example, a comparable fuel-burning luxury mid-size electric crossover in the same class will often have a lower sticker price or a higher transaction price. In September 2023, the mean automobile sale price in the United States was approximately $48,000. Depending on whose data you use, the average transaction price for an EV was between $53,000 and almost $60,000. The EV consumer is evolving in the interim. According to Drury, over 40% of EV buyers are exchanging their current car for a new one. That is roughly twice as much as it was 10 years ago. That implies that many of the EVs that were bought a decade ago were extra cars. Jeff Eosa still works with a lot of affluent clients as a Mercedes dealer. He has even witnessed proof of this. The EQB, an EV that is more affordable and retails for around $50,000, is offered by EZA. While it's not cheap, it's far less expensive than the EQE, which can cost over $90,000, and the EQS, which can cost up to $140,000. It's also just marginally more than the average vehicle purchase price. Several automakers declared at the close of the second quarter of 2023 that they would be switching to the Tesla Charging Standard, which is also referred to as the North American Charging Standard, or NACS. This implies that some cars with outdated charging outlets are left stranded on manufacturing floors. Any kind of buyer, past, present, or future, has grievances with charging. We receive quite a bit of criticism from consumers stating that they simply object to the government dictating what they should purchase. Aggressive is defined as 67.5% battery electric by 2032. All electric is, in my opinion, aspirational by 2035. That is not going to occur, in my opinion. Demand dynamics, regional variations, and price pressures. The presence of EVs on lots does not always indicate declining demand. As of early September 2023, EV sales in the US represented a record 8% of all vehicle sales. If we consider EVs to be a separate market, we combine everything. In the industry, it would rank as the 6th segment. Therefore, it's not like no one wants them. There is, nevertheless, a great deal of regional variance. Luxury vehicles in the Northeast, while pickup trucks in Texas have always been the subject of local legends. EV adoption rates are generally in line with economic indicators such as home energy rates and pump prices. A significant number of people in California will switch to electric vehicles, EVs, if petrol costs rise to levels almost equal to $6, as they do in most areas of the state. In the meantime, gas costs in Texas are over $2 less per gallon than in California. However, inventories have been rising for another reason. The market leader in electric vehicles, Tesla, has been aggressively cutting its prices. According to Cox Automotive data, the average cost of an electric vehicle was $53,376 in August 2023, down from almost $65,000 in the previous year and $53,633 in July 2023. Once again, Tesla is mostly at blame for this fall. Model S transaction prices decreased by 17% in August compared to a 21% decrease in Model 3 transaction costs. Model X saw a 13% decline and Model I saw a 16% decline. The starting price for the Model S and Model X in 2023 was $104,990 and $120,990 respectively. The cost was $74,990 for the S and $79,990 for the X's of September 15. In the meantime, automakers are starting to sell EVs for more than $50,000. In March 2023, Ford raised the starting price of the F-150 Lightning by 50% to $60,000 from the vehicle's initial $40,000 starting price. Although Ford has recently lowered that to $49,000, the amount is still $10,000 more than the carmaker had initially budgeted for. EVs are quite expensive to advertise, especially for those cars that were initially slated to go on sale a few years ago at a specific price. Those previously declared prices have a tendency to go higher since the automaker has not been able to hold those pricing in this market. Bridging consumer expectations and future optimism. What dealers are selling and what customers want don't align with the EVs that are already on the lots. However, there are causes for optimism. According to the S&P survey, consumers were ready to put up with an hour-long charging session and a lower driving range for EVs than for ICE cars. That's one more thing that makes EVs shine. Again, it's this knowing that they might not receive exactly what they would with an ICE vehicle, but they are actually prepared to settle for less than what they would receive. Furthermore, even though fewer consumers were contemplating EVs in 2021 to 2023 than in 2019, the number is still greater than in 2019. I like to compare it to how most of us used to have flip phones and now everyone has smartphones. It would be like to saying, give me your EV and I'll give you back a combustion engine. If I were to ask for your smartphone in exchange for a flip phone, and the majority of people, more than 90%, including me, would probably respond, I'm good. I'm keeping my smartphone and my electric car. Progressing is not what you want to do. In a world where technological progress is inevitable, it's crucial to remember that we're not merely going backward, but forward to a more sustainable and efficient future. The transition to electric is not just a trend, it's a revolution. So whether you choose the bridge of a plug-in hybrid or leap straight into an electric vehicle, the journey towards cleaner transportation is one worth embracing. As we look ahead, we'll continue to explore the intricate dynamics of the EV landscape, delving deeper into the whys and hows. Stay tuned for more insights and updates on the electrifying future of the automotive industry. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for the latest developments in the world of electric vehicles. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and until next time, keep charging forward.